and welcome back to Puro Plur podcast. I am your host, Grecia, and every single week we highlight Hispanic and Latin artists sharing how their heritage and unique sounds are transforming the rave scene. Today we are looking at Jessica Autifred, someone who I really love. When you look at the global landscape of heavy bass music, specifically genres like dubstep and rhythm, the industry historically has been centered around a very specific Western demographic. Jessica's impact is significant because she didn't just find a way into that system, she focused heavily on building a self sustaining infrastructure within Mexico and Latin America. Today, she is a regular fixture on major international lineups like Tomorrowland, EDC Las Vegas, and Ultra, while simultaneously running her own label and festival back home. Her career is an example of deliberate career longevity and systematic community. To analyze Jessica's development as a producer and performer, you have to look at her early exposure to the music scene. Before pursuing music professionally, she participated in the underground electronic community in Mexico City. Her primary influences were diverse, pulling from the instrumentation of nu metal, the arrangements of trance, and rhythms of techno. Her approach to managing large crowds is backed by formal academic training where she holds a degree in psychology. This training directly informs how she structures her live performances. She has stated that performing for thousands of people functions similarly to a real time study in human interaction. It requires an accurate reading of collective tension and release, using specific sound audio frequencies to manage the room's energy. This systematic approach was tested early in her career when a local promoter booked her for an open stadium event in front of roughly 30,000 people, transitioning from small underground venues directly to a large-scale stadium format served as a critical proof of concept for her performance style. The success of that specific set confirmed her viability on major commercial stages. Jessica's discography maps a clear line of artistic development marked by a distinct shift in her engineering priorities and arrangement structures. Her early catalog was heavily defined by her relationship with Flux Pavilion's UK-based imprint, Circus Records, which signed her in 2016. Her production style during this era, heard on foundational singles like Chat Culture, Wasted, and like What the F, focused on classic UK dubstep design. Technically, these tracks relied on aggressive, distorted, mid-range synth growls, heavy sub-bass saturation, and raw, high-impact festival dynamics. This production lane culminated in major joint releases, including Rise with Excision and Bigger Than Bad alongside Flux Pavilion himself. Her debut studio album, Rave New World, acted as a final archive of this specific sonic chapter. The 12-track project balanced those traditional, harsh electronic rave elements with heavy bass, trap, and distinct Latin rhythms, prominently heard on tracks like Que Lo Que. A key indicator of her modern career strategy is her calculated departure from standard dubstep constraints. She executed a deliberate creative pivot by releasing Too Many Ghosts through Steve Aoki's Dim Mak Records. This modern production style trades visceral, distorted bass drops for polished electro house arrangements and vibrant commercial future house frequencies. Rather than leaning on harsh sound synthesis, her current output prioritizes pristine, high-end, mixing sophisticated melodic structures and clean vocal integrations, demonstrating a broader technical range aimed at global festival main stages. This calculated transition into multi-genre production demonstrates that Jessica does not view her brand as static asset. Instead, she treats her international visibility as a tool to gain leverage in highly competitive global market. Leverage that she ultimately redirects back towards the development of regional infrastructure. While her global touring footprint is extensive, her primary contribution to the regional scene is structural. Jessica recognized that long-term representation requires local industry infrastructure. In 2016, she founded A Records. The label operates on formal platform to scout, sign, and distribute music from independent bass producers throughout Mexico and Latin America. By providing these artists with distribution and creative control, she opened a direct pipeline for regional talent to reach international markets. To solve the lack of dedicated events in her home country, she established Madhouse. What began as an independent warehouse party has scaled into Mexico's first multi-year dedicated bass music festival, consistently selling out to thousands of attendees. Through Madhouse, Jessica proved to international talent agencies and promoters that a highly viable commercial market for bass music exists in Latin America. She serves as an exchange mechanism, introducing regional audiences to global artists while bringing the specific energy of Mexican crowds to major venues like the Hollywood Palladium, where she was the first female dubstep artist to headline. Her focus on inclusivity also dictates her target demographics. When launching projects like her birthday track, she explicitly noted her intent to strip away the strictly aggressive, exclusionary stigma often associated with festival dubstep. Her music is mixed to feel accessible, creating an intentional space for female ravers within heavy electronic music. This broad cultural footprint has made her a key corporate brand partner, leading to major regional design campaigns with companies like Adidas Latin America. Looking at her current 2026 initiatives, her focus remains heavily split between large-scale international performance and local developments. She is actively executing a broad live performance strategy built around open format 3-hour extended headline sets. These long-form performances include highly publicized upcoming milestone sets at venues like the Hollywood Palladium are structured specifically to showcase her new sonic era, fluidly shifting through dubstep, electro house, hard techno, and drum and bass. This touring cycle runs parallel to her expanding festival footprint, which includes main stage appearances at Tomorrowland Belgium and Lost Lands. Simultaneously, her management of A Records has shifted towards securing international distribution partnerships for her roster, ensuring that her creative pivot on DimMac Records serves as a blueprint for the next wave of independent Latin American producers. Jessica is a definitive example of how cultural identity and strict business strategy intersects in modern dance music. She did not merely adapt to an existing international template, she built a foundation that ensures future generations of Latin America electronic artists have a clear path to follow. That's all I really have for Jessica Autifred. If you have listened to Rave New World or caught her recent tour sets, which production elements stood out to you? Thank you for tuning in to Puro Plur. My name is Grecia. Hit like, subscribe on whichever platform you are listening on, and I will see you next week.